We're at the Republican Jewish Coalition Spring Meet. It's an annual event. Politicians were here. President Trump, Vice President Pence, Mort Klein. What was your take on the whole event overall?
Especially President Trump's speech brought me to tears. As a child of Holocaust survivors, to see a man so unequivocally, sincerely supportive of the Jewish people and the Jewish state with his heart and soul, even though the Jewish people do not support President Trump, shows how sincere he is, how principled he is in his belief that these are the right positions for America to take to help the Jewish state of Israel. So it brought me to tears.
Would you clarify what you mean when you say the Jewish people don't support President Trump? You do.
Well, I mean, I personally, yes.
The people here.
I support President Trump because he's been the greatest friend to Israel we've ever had. There's never been anyone like him.
Orthodox support him.
Most Orthodox support him, yeah, a clear majority, unequivocal majority. But, you know, the polls show that 20-25% of the Jews, only that number support President Trump. And it's disheartening. He's been so great for Israel and for America. You would think that the Jews would appreciate that we have this really extraordinary president when it comes to our people. But Jews are obsessed with being liberal Democrats.
Well, but the Democrat Party is changing now in ways which are not favorable to Jews or Zionists or people who care about Israel. There was a group on stage who represented former Democrats who walked away from the party. What do you think of that?
Well, all I thought of is how stupid have they been for all these years voting for Obama and other anti-Semites like him. That's what I thought of. I'm glad that they finally saw the light, but meanwhile, where have they been? That is what I thought of. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Look, my organization, Z.O.A, is nonpartisan. We don't take positions on who anyone should vote for, but the policies of Obama have been awful for Israel. Policies of Trump have been tremendous for Israel. People should make their own decisions. So I don't know what the next election will bring in terms of Jewish votes. But the Democratic Party has refused to condemn the overt anti-Semitism of Ilhan Omar from Minnesota, Omar, and Rashida Tlaib from Michigan, and AOC from Queens, New York. The overt, ignorant, despicable Jew hatred by these three. And they refused, not only do they refuse to condemn them by name, they've actually defended them. Steny Hoyer and Pelosi have both said they're not anti-Semites. They don't understand their own words. What rubbish. If they don't understand the English language, what business they have to do being in U.S. Congress? It's nonsense. So I'm very, very discouraged by the Democratic Party. I'm discouraged that they gave us this worthless, watered-down non-resolution which condemned every ism and every hate. It was promulgated to condemn anti-Semitism because of Tlaib, Omar, and AOC, and the extreme left of the party and the Muslims pressured the Democrats to water it down, and they collapsed under that pressure. It was shameful.
Sorry?
It was shameful.
Let's talk about the Muslim influence now in the Democrat Party. Is that a source for concern for Jews?
The only reason I have concern about Muslim influence is because surveys show in America, 1/3 of Muslims are anti-Semitic. These are ADL's own numbers, not mine.
Only 1/3?
1/3 in America. When you go around the world, it's 49% on average. When you go in the Middle East, it's between 75 and 95% are anti-Semitic. But 34% in America represents more than twice the number of anti-Semitic people among non-Muslims. So yes, I'm very concerned about Muslim influence, not because they're not Jewish, but because of their hostility to Jews in the Jewish state. That is what concerns me greatly.
And is that something that they learned from watching the news?
We all watch the news. No, it's because there is institutional support for Jew hatred in the Muslim world. The leading imams in the Muslim, among the Muslims, from Al-Azhar University, even the leading popes, the really top people, make speeches condemning Jews and the Jewish state. So this is institutional Jew hatred promoted by the leading scholars and imams in the Muslim world. That is why this is happening.
Is that a cause for concern about immigrating Muslims from the Middle East?
That is why Z.O.A. supported President Trump not allowing Muslims from just 5 countries, only 15% of all Muslims, did he promote a legislation to not permit these people there because they're not vettable. And we felt deeply uncomfortable with having people who hate Jews in the Jewish state to come to America. If there were people like Afrikaners from South Africa, who hate blacks, I assure you the NAACP would not want hundreds of thousands of Afrikaners coming to America. So, the only reason I'm hostile to Muslims is because they're hostile to me and my people.
Right. So the fellow in Pittsburgh, Bowser, who attacked the shul Etz Chaim, he claimed that he attacked that shul because Hayas has a group of support there. These supporters are integrating these immigrant Muslims into Pennsylvania.
Well, look, he also said he hates Trump, he hates Trump's family. So look, if you read his words, he's a lunatic, he's really a nut. So look, just because you point out something that I may agree with him on, doesn't mean that legitimizes him. We may both like dogs or small children, but he's still a despicable killer.
No, but does Hayas have any business in importing Muslims who are essentially Jew haters into the country?
We have publicly criticized Hayas that less than 5% of the people they bring to America are Jews. The vast majority of people they bring to America are Muslims, and many of them are unvettable. We don't know their backgrounds, their thoughts, their beliefs. So yes, we have criticized Hayas for now being devoted to bringing Muslims to America, when in fact the polls show that by 2 to 4 times the rate of non-Muslims, they have enmity toward Jews and the Jewish state. 2 to 4 times of non-Muslims. I don't want people who hate Jews and the Jewish state to come to America. It's not in my interest, and it's not in America's interest.
So how do you feel about Jews who support Hayas in their doing it because they claim we don't do it, we do it because we're Jewish?
Well, do they understand that Hayas is bringing people who hate Jews in the Jewish state? I don't think they know this. They should know the truth of who they're bringing in, then let them make their decision based on the facts. Right now, I don't think they have the facts about who Hayas brings to America.
On the topic of anti-Semitism,
Hayas has also publicly defended Linda Sarsour, an overt Muslim anti-Semite, demanding that people like me stop criticizing her. That's Hayas. It's shameful.
So they're political, like the ADL is political?
Mm-hmm. I'm just telling you what they did. You can characterize it any way you wish. By the way, National Council of Jewish Women joined Hayas in defending Linda Sarsour and demanding that Jewish leaders stop criticizing Sarsour.